Joining us right now is Corey Stewart. He's chairman-at-large of the Prince William Board of County Supervisors in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Chairman Stewart, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure, gentlemen.
Well, I know that you've been on the forefront of trying to push back against a lot of the recent move for immigration reform and amnesty, and I got to get you to comment on this latest story that the feds released hundreds of immigrants illegal immigrants who were murderers, drunk drivers, sex crime convicts. What's going on here?
Well, it's just the tip of the iceberg. In Prince William County alone, we have handed about 7,500, that's about 7,500 criminal illegal aliens over to the feds since 2007. We have sued the federal government to try to tell us where the whereabouts are of those convicts, and they refuse to tell us. And if that's 7,500 in Prince William County alone, we know that a significant portion of those have been re-released, I guess, back into the community because we've rearrested about 10% of them for reoffending. So if it's that many in Prince William County, you know it's got to be in the hundreds of thousands, if not the millions, around the country.
Well, we've just seen a lot of reporting on this about how the administration has released some that were wanted for murder. 116 people who were released back into the public at large after being taken into custody were murderers, convicted murderers.
Yeah. You know, it is so shocking, but yet we here, in Northern Virginia and Prince William in particular, we knew of at least rapists, those who had been convicted of taking indecent liberties with children, drunk drivers, other dangerous criminals were being released by the federal government on a daily basis.
So now you're doing what you can over there in Prince William. You say you've turned over 4,300 criminal illegal immigrants over to ICE, and that's reduced violent crime by 35%, you say. So what does ICE do with these guys?
Well, I think the problem for ICE is that Congress and the president, now keep in mind, this is not just in the Obama administration, this was the Bush administration before it, that Congress and the president have refused to give the resources necessary to ICE for the detention center space to keep these individuals. So ICE, therefore, has been forced to turn these individuals back out into the community because they don't have the resources to either deport them or put them through the administrative process of getting them deported. And that's a real problem. There's just there's a bottleneck, and they don't have the resources.
All right. So the president has said, about immigration enforcement, says you've got to spend time dealing with somebody who's not causing any other trouble other than the fact they were trying to make a living for their families. That's just not a good use of our resources. It's not smart. And I'll add to parenthetically, he's saying it's not smart to actually keep people who have entered this country illegally. It's not smart to keep them behind bars. What would you say to the President of the United States?
Well, the fact is that nobody is put behind bars, as far as we can tell. We have not. ICE never takes an individual that we tried to hand over to them who has done nothing but break immigration law. All of these individuals, all 7,500 of them in Prince William County alone, have committed an additional offense, not a traffic offense, but an offense that posed an endangerment to the community. And so a lot of these are fairly significant offenses. So he's saying one thing. He's saying that you have these individuals that are just behind bars or that we're putting behind bars just because they've broken immigration laws. That's not the case. All of these individuals have committed crimes on top of entering the country illegally.
Our guest is Prince William Board of County Supervisors Chairman Corey Stewart. And can I ask just a quick separate topic? One of your colleagues there, Pete Candland, he's gone on record yesterday this is a story we've been covering on WMAL in our news department, the fact that there are a whole lot of jobs that go unfilled in the county, and at the end of the year, if those jobs are unfilled, the money then gets sort of rolled over and the supervisors can spend it how they will. This was Pete Candland talking to our news department.
The board has an opportunity to spend leftover money at the end of the year, and I'm worried that we're using these vacant positions as a way to fund our year-end spending.
I mean, it almost sounds like sort of like a slush fund where you guys, at the end of the year, if you don't fill these jobs, you got this money left over, and then you can do what you want with it. Shouldn't we be either filling these jobs or eliminating these jobs?
Well, that's just not the case. I mean, we've got, in Prince William County, we've got over 4,000 employees. You've got vacancies that carry over from one year to the other. And, a lot of these are public safety positions that you don't want to eliminate. It takes time. It takes about 18 months, in fact, for the point of financing a police officer position to the point of hiring. So there's just not a whole lot of money there.
Well, he says in 2013 it was about $17 million at the end of that fiscal year. What happens to that money?
Now, what happens is in every county, and including Prince William, you've got projects that carry over from one year to the other. So you allocate money in one year, the project's not complete, so you carry the money over into the next year to complete the project. So that $17 million is not surplus. $17 million is simply carryover.
But okay, I'm sorry. Just one follow-up question on that. If it's carryover, if you had budgeted to hire somebody for say $50,000 in fiscal 2013, you never hired that person, and then it carries over to 2014. It's not like you can hire him retroactively to 2013 again. So how does it totally carry over?
Well, because you're carrying over the money for the same position into the next year. You didn't spend the money, so you carry it over into the next year, so you don't have to.
And then you don't budget for it for the next year. All right,
yeah,
great.
Well, no, you're still budgeting for it, but you have the money. You just carry it over from one year to the other. But it's not just for positions, but it's also for projects, capital improvement projects.
Okay.
So you spend $5 million on a sidewalk project or a turning lane project. You spend $3 million of it. You're not done with the project. You carry over the remaining $2 into the next year.
Thanks for that.
And so you're saying definitively that this isn't used at the end of the year to sort of take care of your little pet projects.
Exactly. There's in every government, but you got a budget the size of Prince William County's, about $2 billion overall, about $1 billion in the general fund. You're always going to have some. Hopefully, you're going to have some surplus as opposed to a shortfall. But the majority of that money that he's referring to is simply carryover funding. Surpluses are generally around $2 to $3 million in Prince William County, which is just obviously a very small fraction of the overall budget.
We have a lot of listeners in Prince William County, and it seems that in recent years, whenever you have an election by system, man, the one you got to watch what happens in Prince William. You got to figure out what's going on there, because what happens in Prince William is indicative of what may happen on statewide elections. Has it really become a bellwether, and are the demographics changing dramatically?
Well, absolutely they have. Prince William County has been the battleground for a number of years. It is now about 54 to 55% minority citizens, and so the complexion of the voters has changed. It has become more and more of a Democratic leading county.
All right. Well, listen, it's good to have you here, Corey Stewart, Chairman at Large of the Prince William Board of County Supervisors in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
My pleasure.